to the poem Ocham. It's written by James Thomson. And the period of the poet is 17,000 to 1748. This is the 18th century British literature. And you see, like Gray, Collins, William Cooper, William Collins, this is a poem by James Thomson, who is one of the celebrated harbingers of Romanticism. This is very important. This question comes in examination. That who are the precursors of Romanticism? You are supposed to write Collins, Gray, Thomson, the harbingers of Romanticism. Harbingers of Romanticism. There has been a range of poets in English literature who came before the Romantic revival. They are called the precursors of Romanticism because they were the poets, they were the thinkers who could foresee that a new change would come in the arena of literature, in the realm of literature, and they started incorporating some of the traits of Romantic revival in terms of language, in terms of natural description, in terms of attitude towards man and mankind, in terms of incorporating some of the basic precepts related to progress, rationality, scientific outlook, and all. And finally is the individualism, and more particularly about the approach to go away from the so-called practice of neoclassicism that was the rhyming scheme and the meter. So these are some of the features which could be seen in that era, which came, which slightly comes before the Romantic period, and that is the era called the transitional phase. And the poets who were in this era are known as the precursors of Romanticism. So it's a very good poem on nature. It's a fabulous poem on autumn. This poem describes the beauty of the night. This poem describes the beauty of the moon and moonlight present particularly in the time of the night. This poem, in a very exquisite way, describes the beauty of the grass, the beauty of the landscape, the beauty of the vapors, and somewhere in the poem, the moon is compared to sun, devoid of flames. Number one, and in this poem there has been a reference of telescope that when the moon is viewed through the telescope, the mountains, the spotted lights, and the various geographical areas could be seen with the help of that telescope. So that all beauty has been delineated by the poet through the poem entitled Autumn. And this poem Autumn has been uh, incorporated, has been, you know, written in one of his anthologies. And the name of that anthology is The Seasons. You know, you people, you students are supposed to know the meaning of anthology. Anthology means collection of poems. Collection of poems. The famous anthology is the prelude, uh, the very famous anthology written by Coleridge and Wordsworth. It is the prelude. Well, I think it's not prelude. It is which poem? It is which anthology? I think I am forgetting. The very famous. It is, or we can come to the next anthology, the Golden Treasury, written by Palgrave. Ah, yes, I reminded. I got reminded. The lyrical ballads. The lyrical ballads. It was written both by Wordsworth
And Coleridge.
and
Coleridge.
Coleridge. So I come straight to the text of the poem. The very first line: the western sun withdraws the shortened day. In this poem, the beauty of the landscape, the beauty of the landscape of autumn season has been delineated by the poet. And in the very first line, the poet opens the first line with a very famous phrase: the western sun. The sun is going to set. And you see, in the autumn season, the days are short. So the beauty of the short day has been described by the poet. So the poet says that in autumn season, the days are short, and it is the time when the sun is going to set. So the western sun withdraws the shortened day and humid evening, and this is the time of evening. And since it is the season of autumn, so everywhere humid is found. So even the beauty of the humid, one can, one can not only see the humid present everywhere in natural landscape, but one can also come to the beauty of the humid. So and humid evening, gliding over the sky. Yes. So everywhere humid is present, gliding over the sky, and it appears that this humid it is spread even to the sky. This is what the poet feels. Inner child progress to the ground condensed, the vapor throws, and what is the next phenomena which the poet is feeling, that the condensed vapors are gathering everywhere. Since it is the time of evening, since it is the season of season, so everywhere vapors are found. Everywhere it is humid, present in the atmosphere. And the entire atmosphere has become wet due to the vapors. Vapors, the short drops of waters, which is a geographical event. Poet catches hold of everything. He catches hold of nature. He catches hold of beauty. He catches hold of geography. He catches hold of some scientific events which take place in the cycle of nature. The vapor throws, so everywhere vapors are found. Where creeping waters ooze, where marshes stagnate, and you see, with the happening of all these vapors, what is happening in nature? That everywhere it appears to be wet. The water is coming in the form of drops. So the entire landscape is wet, WET. You see, wet. There is the chalk. Entire landscape is wet due to the vapors. Yes, where creeping waters ooze, wherein marshes stagnate. Marshes has been a sort of एक तरह का आप उसको दलदल कह सकते हैं, एक तरह से गीली जमीन, वहां तक वो वेपर्स वो फैला हुआ है. And wherein river wind, and it is spread even by the side of the river, wherein river wind clustered the rolling fogs, yes, clustered the rolling fogs. And due to all such geographical event, what is forming? Fog is forming. Fog is coming into existence, and the visibility has been very low. And since it is the time of, when it is autumn, a slight winter falls, and when vapors are taking place in nature, then finally what appears into our vision? It is fog, it is mist, it is the season of the mist and mellow fruitfulness, has been written by John Keats in one of his odes, Ode to Autumn. So the reference of fog given here could be verified by the poem Ode to Autumn, written by John Keats. The very first line of Ode to Autumn runs like this: it is the season of the mist and mellow fruitfulness. So in the same way, James Thomson here in this poem Autumn has given reference of fog. That fogs are coming into existence. The myths are being formed. It's a great geographical event. And myths are there in the landscape, then visibility becomes very, very low. And clustered the rolling fogs. And you see, fogs are not only taking place, but they are moving from one particular place to another. The more we go, the more we find the fog. So it appears that fogs are moving ahead, because everywhere it is spread, it is spreading and swing along the dusky mantled lawn. So the fogs are covering the lawns, fogs are covering the grasslands. And at this particular point of time, the poet looks at the moon in the sky. So in the middle part of the poem, the poet talks of the beauty of the moon. In the first part of the poem, the poet describes the beauty of the landscape. And you see, this is the particular characteristic feature of Romanticism, or the era which came before Romanticism. All these poets took delight in describing nature, natural landscape. And all these features make this poetry great. And later on, we find the outburst in outlook, in attitude, in definitions, in paradigms. And with the publication of the lyrical ballads written by Coleridge and Wordsworth, we enter a new era of literature known as Romanticism. You see, you could call it Romanticism. You speak. You could call it
Romanticism.
You could call it the Romantic school
era.
of
Poetry.
You could call it the Romantic
Era.
revival. Speak. The Romantic
Revival.
And you are supposed to know in a very nutshell the definition of Romanticism. That Romanticism was against the precepts of neoclassical literature.